Now, our first speaker worked for the South African Civil Aviation Authority in 2011 as a certification engineer and unmanned aircraft system specialist. Please help me welcome to the stage Sam Twala.
Good morning, everyone. Jeez, you know, the guys who were here a few moments ago, so much energy, I don't think I'll be able to keep up. And certainly they make me feel old. You know? I also have a 3-year-old, and she runs around, has so much energy, and I feel like my job is just to chase her around. So, nonetheless, as introduced, my name is Sam Twala from Aviation Solutions. What I'm going to talk to you about, very interesting, very cool technology. Relatively new, depending on where you come from. And maybe before I start, let me say, at the end of my talk, there are 2 goodie bags that I want to give away. My colleagues here, they were talking about some cool stuff that they're going to give tomorrow or at the end of the session. I'm going to give you goodie bags today, as soon as I'm done with this presentation. 2 things that I need from you. I need someone who's going to ask me 1 question about my presentation or anything about drones, and I don't know what's the answer. If you ask a question, I don't know what's the answer, you get a goodie bag. 2, I'm going to ask a question. Anyone who gets it right, you get a goodie bag. Are you guys excited? Yes. So you must listen. There's an exam at the end of this presentation, right? Let me get to it. As introduced, I'm not going to go into details who I am, because this is not about me, this is about you. It suffices to say, I'm in drone technology. Do you guys know what is a drone, right? Thank you, fantastic. I'm in drone technology, and what I'm going to talk to you about is Essence Aviation Solutions, what we do. We are a consulting company. We assist people who want to get into drone industry, but they don't know where to start, who to talk to, if you need to get a license, where do you get a license? So that's what we assist with. And then secondly, we also looking at digitizing drone operations, right? We are talking to people who understand what I mean when I say digitize, right? And digitizing, we're talking about technology itself, we're talking about operations and everything in between, right? And then the other thing that we do, we also sell drones. If you have money, some pocket change, you can talk to me, I can sell you a drone before I'm done today, right? Do you know how much a drone costs? More than pocket money. Oh, okay. All right, no, that's fine. That's another thing that we do. And then, most importantly, we also do training, pilot training. And with pilot training, this is drone pilot training. You know, for you to fly a drone and make money using your drone, you need to get a license, right? You need to know how to fly your drone, right? Do we all agree? And then we teach people how to fly a drone and then run their own businesses and. All right, so what is a drone, right? And how does it look like? These are some of the pictures, some of the examples of how a drone looks like. From something small, something that probably you may have seen someone flying maybe at a wedding or a neighbor or whoever who has something as small as what you see on the top right. And then you see there's a gentleman here standing next to a white-looking like helicopter. Looks like he's putting some stuff or removing stuff from a drone. So this is a drone that is used to deliver stuff, you know, like parcels. You know, when you make your order at, let's say, Take a Lot, and now they're not going to bring your order with a scooter or a car. They're going to bring your parcels using a drone. This is a kind of a drone that they're going to use. And then there are even the bigger ones. If you look at the bottom ones, these are drones that are used in the military. The Americans, they're using the bottom left and then the top right. Those are the big drones that they use. And then you have the most interesting one. If you look at the bottom 3, this is a drone in the middle. this is a drone that carry passengers, right? The same thing as like Uber, you're going to have an app on your phone, you order your ride on your phone, and something that looks like this will then land in your front yard or wherever you are. You get inside, and you know what's cool about that? There's an aeroplane, there's a pilot flying this drone, but not sitting with you inside the aircraft. The pilot is sitting somewhere in an air-conditioned room somewhere, and then you get inside the aircraft, and then the pilot flies you wherever you want to go. How cool is that? And you're not comfortable with that. You don't like that. You don't like that. No. Come on, guys. I thought I'm talking to people who are in tech here, who are intending to be in tech. Now, I see some reservations here, but it's all right. We'll talk about that at some point. Nonetheless, some of drone applications, examples, if you are looking at getting into drone technology, where are some of the applications? As I'm talking to you right now, in South Africa specifically, we have drones which are used in mining, right? For surveying, for mapping, when they do blasting, you don't have to have a person standing there to look at the blast. You can use a drone because it's safer, it's cheaper, it's quicker. We have drones which are used in the railway to do inspections, to check if the inspection, the railway is still in a good conditions, to do maintenance, things such as crop spraying. Do you know what is crop spraying? Have you seen a drone that does crop spraying? No, all right? So, okay, I'm going to talk about this in a second. I'll give you an example. Like in a stadium, usually when you're watching soccer, rugby, cricket, whatever your favorite sport is, there are usually cameras, right? So where we are going now, typically you have a camera like, my friend here. He has a very nice-looking camera. This is what you are used to. Unfortunately, or fortunately, with time, we're not going to use cameras which are on the tripod like this. We're going to use drones, right? So this gentleman who's operating this camera will not be sitting here. He's going to be sitting somewhere, and then there'll be a drone flying, taking the video. So that's how they do things if you go to soccer matches or any sporting code. At the bottom right, this is what I was talking about here. If you order your parcel on Take a Lot, we're now going to deliver those parcels using a drone. So there are a lot of applications, a lot of industries, farming, engineering. As a matter of fact, simply put, if you ask me which industries drones are used, it will be difficult for me to say which industries because it's almost all of them. There's no industry where drones don't have applications in, right? So here I'm giving you a clue of the kind of a question to ask later. If you can think of any industry where it's not possible to use a drone, tell me which one is it. If you can tell me, you already won something for yourself today. All right, so these are some of the examples in agriculture, how drones are used in agriculture. For you to get a good yield, right, at the end of, or before you, or simply put, what I would say is what farmers do these days is because, when you have a very big farm, and there might be disease, locust, that is eating your crops. Today, because you have a very big crop, it's quite difficult to know where and then what is it that you have to do to protect your crop. So what you do, you fly a drone, and then there are some mathematics and some data analytics that you need to run in the background, and then it will tell you that this patch of your crop, there's some diseases or there are some insects or whatever that is eating your crops. So it's much easier. It makes things easier that you as a farmer, then you know exactly what to do and where to do what you need to do. In engineering, right, infrastructure inspection, think of a very tall building where you need to do inspection. Today, how you do it, or before drones, you have to put a scaffold build a scaffolds for you to be able to reach the certain heights that before were not so possible. But now with drones, you don't have to do that anymore. You can fly a drone and you can check if maybe there's an inspection or there's a damage, there's something that you need to do to fix what you need to fix. I spoke about mining and surveying, filming and photography. The simplest one is, I don't know if you've seen this, maybe in your neighborhood or anywhere, if you attended a wedding, at some point there'll be someone, instead of holding a camera, they're now using a drone to take pictures, and it takes very beautiful pictures, right? Search and rescue, if someone is lost, whether it's in a mountain or in a forest or wherever they are lost, it's easier to search for that person using a drone. And why I'm saying it's easier, some of the things or the technology that drone has is what we call the thermal camera, right? So a thermal camera, what it means is it's able to pick up body heat, right? Whether it's at night or during the day, it doesn't matter. So when you are searching for someone who's lost and you're using a drone, it's very easy, it's very quick, right? It can pick up that person very easily, right? So those are some of the applications, when we're talking about drones. And then something interesting. If you're really, really interested in becoming a drone pilot, where do you start? How do you become a drone pilot? It's very easy, not something very complicated. However, what I will show you here is I just copy and paste from civil aviation regulations, right? As I did mention that if you want to fly a drone, you need to get a license, and the license, you get it from Civil Aviation Authority. The same way as you get a driver's license for your car. For you to drive a car, you need a driver's license. The same with a drone. If you want to fly a drone, you need a license. And that license, we call it remote pilot license, right? That's what we call it. So depending on the type of drone that you have, you see the top one here, it's a drone, but it looks like an aeroplane. You can see that, right? Right. And then the bottom one or the middle one, you see it's a drone as well, but it looks like a helicopter. You see that? And then there's a bottom one, that's what we're more used to, that's what we've seen a lot. This is what we call a multi-rotor. What it means is a drone, but it has more than one rotors to be able to fly. So when you get a license, you can say, my drone is an aeroplane, or looking like an aeroplane, or my drone looks like a multi-rotor. Then you get a license that is depending on the type of drone that you have, right? Okay, and then how do you get a drone license? We are still young in here, right? But we are still growing up, right? So for you to get a drone license, you must be at least 18 years and older. The reason for that is because, in South Africa, when you are 18, you are considered an adult, right? So, and hopefully as an adult, you are responsible, right, when you're 18. Even though we know there are some people who are 35 and they are still kids, right? We know that, right? So, so you must at least be 18 years of age, and really, that's the minimum requirement. And preferably, if you've done maths and science, it makes things a little bit easier, right? But if you didn't do maths and science, it doesn't mean that you're excluded or you cannot do drone trading. It's just it's recommended. So please choose wisely when you get to the point where you can still choose. And then beyond that, there are simple things that we need, like a copy of your ID, copy or your ID photo, your matric certificate, and then the other thing that we need, let me see, what would I, oh yes, the medical. So in South Africa, for you to get a drone license, you must pass medical assessments, right? Yes. All right, some job opportunities. So there are really two main opportunities in drones, right? It's either you start your own business, which is in drones, or you get a drone license and then you work for the company that has drones or that is using drones. Now, if you decide that you want to work for a company that uses drones, there are so many job opportunities, there are so many careers within drones outside of flying a drone. As an example, every drone operator has a quality manager. You could decide to say, you know what, I'm good with quality. I pay attention to details. So you can choose to be a quality manager in a drone company. Or you could choose to say, I'm good when it comes to safety, and then I want to be a safety manager. So there are so many careers that you can follow in this industry. It doesn't have to be drones only. And then I'll give you another example. If you look at the title that it says regulated, what does regulated mean is any of opportunities, job opportunities in here, you are going to get a license from the regulator, which is the Civil Aviation Authority. All right. So some of the careers outside of what I just talked about, you could decide to say, you know what, I'm very smart. There's a certain type of drone that I want, but it doesn't exist as yet. You could decide to design your own drone, right? Wouldn't that be cool? You design your own drone. That's another opportunity. Another opportunity, there are people who know that they understand software, right? If you know and you understand software, you are a software developer. What you can do, as an example, you can develop softwares for people who are in drones, right? You can come up with some idea. For example, application, your cell phone app, right? You can, if you know how to design a cell phone app, you can do that, and that will be used in drone technology as well. Some of the things that you get involved in would be training, for example, consulting, which is what we do. The most important one, data analytics. Now, what I mean with data analytics, remember earlier I was talking about if a farmer, they fly a drone over their farm, they want to detect where are the diseases or maybe where are the insects. A drone is not going to tell you where are the insects or where are the diseases. You fly a drone, you get a picture, you get a video. Now, someone has to analyze that video. Someone has to sit down and say, when the color is red, this is what it means. When the color is blue, this is what it means. I'm just giving an example. So these are the people who are involved in data analytics. Drone will collect the data. Someone has to make sense out of that data. Someone has to explain that data, right? That is someone who is in data analytics. In conclusion, what I would say, and this is my favorite slide when it comes to when I have this kind of conversations, very, very important. When you're looking at getting into drone industry, don't fall into the pit of thinking for you to be in drone industry, you must be a pilot. No, right? First thing first, you must say, you as a person, what is it that you like? What is it that you like to do? If you say, I want to be in mining, I want to be a surveyor, then you should say, I want to be a surveyor, however, I'm going to be a smart surveyor that uses drone. Otherwise, you could say, I want to be a farmer. That's what I want to do. However, I'm going to be a smart farmer that is using drones, right? So that's a nice way and that's a beautiful way of looking at it. And what I always caution people not to do is don't buy a drone and start to think that what is it that I can use a drone, right? Think, what is it that you want to do? Where do you think your skill sets are? And then with your skill sets, use drones to enhance and to become better than whether it's your competitor or whether it's job opportunities. Even with drone operators, by the way, when they are looking for pilots, they want to hire people, they want to ask you, what is it that you know? What is it that you can do, right? All right, so I think I already touched this, but then the last thing that I would say is if you're getting into drones at some point, much, much later, and you want to start your own business, please remember all the processes, all things beautiful involved in how to start a business, they are also applicable here. All right. All right, so unfortunately, I was hoping to play some YouTube videos which will show some cool drones in operation. However, if you have, hopefully, someone's going to share the slides. These are the links that I would recommend that please click on these slides. These are YouTube, and then you'll be able to see some cool drone videos. All right, with that being said, thank you very much. And like I said, I have 2 goodie bags to give away. And the first goodie bag will go to, you can choose whether you ask me one question, and if I say I don't know, then you get a goodie bag. 2, what did I say is the second thing? I ask a question. All right. Let me ask a question here. Give me one industry where you can use a drone. Jeez, that was quick. That was quick.
Farming.
Farming. Fantastic. But you are cheating. I said farming so many times. But at least you were listening. All right? One more. Anyone who has a question? Here. Let's wait for your mic here.
May I please ask, what material would you use to do a holographic drone?
To do it?
To make a holographic drone?
I don't know. All right. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay. I think that would be all from my side. Thank you for listening to me, and thank you. If you have any question, I'm going to stick around. Yes, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Sam, for that amazing presentation. I found it really interesting personally. My biggest question personally was, what stops people using drones for the wrong purposes? What stops it being a weapon in war? What can we do to stop people abusing its power?
Unfortunately, I ran out of goodie bags. I was going to say, I don't know. Look, honestly speaking, if you look at the main reason why drones are regulated, it's simply because of what you're asking, because drone technology can be misused very easily. And the only way to sort of curb that or to control that is if there are regulations, there's a regulator that says before you fly a drone, you must have a license, and. But yeah, it's a very difficult conversation when it comes to security or trying to get people not to use it, to misuse the technology.
Okay, thank you very much. We found it really informative.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks.